Welcome to class, students. I'm Professor Cool Dude and today we'll be talking about the French Revolution. How many of you all even know why the French Revolution happened? I'll bet you're all here willing to learn. Right? Okay, settle down. I can tell you're all too excited this morning. King Louis XVI had spent much of France's money helping the Americans during the American Revolution against the British. This essentially broke France's socio-economic standings, and Louis XVI raised taxes heavily. This made the French people very angry. They felt it was unfair. On top of that, they were starving because of a poor harvest the year before, which caused a massive food shortage, especially the bread, which we all like French bread, right, class? And the French hated Marie Antoinette, Louis XVI's wife. They thought she was greedy and spent all of the tax money on her own lavish desires. France was in turmoil, and it would be just a matter of time before the people would do something about it. On July 14, 1789, the citizens of France stormed to the Bastille. This actually started, believe it or not, as a peaceful protest. But guards saw the people coming to the Bastille with all kinds of makeshift weapons, and they panicked. They opened fire. The citizens fired back. Some of the revolutionaries who acted as soldiers helped the citizens by positioning a cannon in front of the Bastille doors. The commander of the Bastille surrendered. And from that day forward, July 14th has always been known as Bastille Day in France. King Louis XVI and the royal family were appalled by this upheaval, as were the rest of the European governments, most of which were monarchies. France's National Assembly went to him with the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, which was like our Declaration of Independence, but he refused to sign it. Everyone out there still with me? The French demanded that Louis XVI remove himself from the throne, and they marched to the palace at Versailles. The royal family hid here for about 3 days. And it was here where Marie Antoinette supposedly said let them eat cake. But guess what, students? Historians all believe she never said that. The royal family fled from Versailles and left for Paris. They would never again return to their cherished palace. All of Europe became more concerned with the revolution happening in France. They supported the king and queen, even as the French people did not. So guess what happened, y'all? The guillotine. I know this is what you've all been waiting for. Seriously, though. The French army went through the country and used the guillotine as a means of capital punishment. Over 16,000 people lost their heads to the guillotine. The pun was intended. But I'm very serious here, students. This was one of the most horrendous forms of terror throughout all of France. King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette had to flee again because on August 10, 1792, the French overthrew the monarchy. This was at the Battle of the Tuileries, where the royal family had been hiding, and where King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were captured. King Louis XVI was tried as a traitor and for the brutal repression of the people. He was found guilty and in January of 1793, the French beheaded him with the guillotine. Marie Antoinette was also tried, and because the French hated her anyway, off with her head, too. Now here's a little known fact for you all. The French hero of the American Revolution, Marquis de Lafayette, asked President George Washington for Americans' assistance in the French Revolution. And there were Americans of French ancestry who just simply adored the king and the queen. But Washington said no to Lafayette because he didn't want a renewed war with Britain, so France was more or less on her own. But they did have Napoleon Bonaparte as a French general, but that's somebody else's presentation, and I'm done.